Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel, Living the Savvy Life, which is all about smart spending and looking at your finances from a lifestyle perspective. My name is Melissa Tosetti, and this is my colleague,
Gemma Gibbons.
Right now, it is May 28th, and across the country, the economy is slowly starting to open up. And what is very likely to happen is that as we have had our spending and our lives really dial down for a very long time, we're now going to have an opportunity to start spending. And it's likely and probable that without some restraint and some guidance and purposefulness, we're going to lose our minds and we're just going to start spending wildly. Very much like, when you're trying to be really, really strict on dieting and then you go out and you completely blow it. We have that opportunity, not a good opportunity, but for that to happen right now. And so, Kevin, do you want to take and run with this topic, get us started?
Sure. And one of the things that that we often say in situations like this, and I can do this because I'm married to, well, half of this sentence, is don't spend like a drunken sailor. And yes, my wife is a sailor, was a sailor. And the whole idea behind that phrase is we don't want to be so exuberant, like Melissa was saying, where you just go out and you're just spending crazy. You haven't been able to go to a restaurant for months, and so now we're going to go out and we're going to eat out every night and we're just going to go buy. And this can really be bad for several reasons. Not only can it affect your pocketbook, but one of the whole tenets of what the Savvy Life is about is purposeful spending. We want to be spending on things that really we have decided will give us the greatest value in terms of monetary value and in terms of personal pleasure. If you just go out there and start spending like crazy, you kind of lose that. So what we really want to do is to offer a little word of caution. Go out, enjoy yourself. God knows I can't wait for me to get out of my cooped up existence and go out and regain society. But do it in a way that is still intentional. Pick what you want to spend on. Pick how you want to enjoy yourself.
I had a conversation with my friend Joel earlier today. I've talked about Joel quite a bit. He's a savvy guy. He lives in New Mexico, and their restaurants just opened up for dine-in service. And I asked him, because he and his wife, that is one of their great pleasures, is going out and eating. They get a chance to talk, and it's part of their entertainment. And so I asked him, you've been waiting months for this. Like, how was it? And he said, you know what? It wasn't that great. And it wasn't that great because it was like he enjoys cooking at home so much more. That's not the case. It's that the restaurant that they were really excited about going to was so booked. So they decided, because they wanted that experience, to go somewhere else. And it was noisy, it was crowded. It was not the experience he really wanted to have. And so what he's going to do is just wait until he can go to the restaurant he really wants to go and have that particular experience. It wasn't about necessarily the food.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and yeah. I think that's really the whole key to this thing. Again, we're not saying don't go out and enjoy yourself. Please, within the guidance and your own conscience of safety and everything else, go do that. But just do it with a little bit of thought and a little bit of focus of these are things that I want to do. This one of the nice things about this slow down, shut down, shelter in place is it has given us the opportunity to stop and think, what do we really value? What do we really like to do? And what are things that we've just been doing most of our lives out of habit because everybody else does and just without really much forethought. Now you have an opportunity to really plan and think about what you want your life to look like. Not in the global grand sense, but on the day-to-day sense. Yeah. What do I want to do on Friday nights? Do I really want to go to the same, gathering that I've always done? Maybe yes. But maybe that really, I've just been doing that out of habit. I'd really rather go spend my time doing something else. Now's the time to ask those questions and then go do the things that are really going to be that you're most interested in.
Yep. A lot of people have bucket lists. I'm actually not a fan of the term the bucket list because the idea of it is that you're going to do all these things before you kick the bucket. That framing is not my favorite, but I do like the idea of like, hey, I want to do these particular things. And in a real way, you have an opportunity to do that right now, right? This summer, I want to have these experiences. It's something that our family has been doing for years, because you only have, so many weekends in a summer. You can apply that right now. You know what? Before I do all these other things that I've been itching at, I really want to do these top 3 things, and I'm going to be purposeful around that. And I will continue to stand by one of the greatest tools for that kind of decision making is to create a spending book. Talked about it a lot of times. We've dedicated videos to it. In fact, in the notes below, we'll link we'll link to one of those videos about it, really explaining what a spending book is. But in a nutshell, it's simply a book that you keep with you, or you can use a some little book like this, or you can use a note-taking app on your phone, and it's just simply going to write down the things that you want to buy and the things that you want to do. What is the thing that you want to buy when you walk into that retail store? Because those stores are going to have so many things. Oh, it's been so long since you walked through racks, right? And this just helps you, hey, you made a decision in advance if this is what you really truly want. Now, if the most amazing thing ever happens to be on that rack and you decide that you're going to, it's serendipity, that's great, right? It's not about being so myopic you're not enjoying life. But that spending book really can help you with as I said, the things you want to buy, the experiences you want to have. And it's very, very powerful.
One of the things that we talk about when we talk about the work we do with creating spending plans for people, and primarily for clients through their financial advisors, is the situation that a lot of people run into when they retire. When people first retire, assuming that they've been managed to do it successfully, they will want to experience every retirement opportunity at once. They want to buy the RV, they want to remodel the kitchen, and they want to take that trip to Europe all in the first 3 months of their retirement. And their financial advisor will often contact us saying, these people are blowing my carefully crafted 20-year plan. We don't tell them that they can't do those things. They can. They just probably shouldn't do them all in the first 3 months. And we help those clients figure out how to do all those things, but spread it out so that it doesn't decimate their savings. It's kind of the same thing we're saying here, is that there's going to be so many things that you can do. For most of us, we'll have a very long time to savor them and to go do all those things. You don't need to do everything right away. You don't need to buy everything right away. So pick the things out, pick the things that you're going to enjoy, and do it in a little bit more of a measured fashion so that you don't get into this binge purge cycle. Again, if you go look at it like the diet that we talked about earlier, you can have the problem where you're really maintaining a steady diet, and then at some point you say, I was dieting so that I could go enjoy this great celebration, and you eat to your heart's content, and the next day you're, oh my God, what the heck did I just do? It really is
human nature.
Exactly.
Human nature. Yes, you're not a bad person. It's human nature. It's about managing willpower. It's about managing habit. Yeah.
So just take it slow. That's all we're saying. Figure out what you want to do, make a plan, and stretch it out. One of the other things that Melissa and I always talk about is how much fun anticipation is. And so this is the same thing. It's come out, go do some things, but don't necessarily do everything right away.
So Kevin and I do a lot of speaking, and we do a lot of teaching financial advisors our system of cash flow planning. And one of the case studies that we talk about has such resonance right now, and it really stems from what Kevin talked about. Somebody who they're finally retired, and they go out and they buy the RV, they remodel the kitchen, they plan that European 3-month-long trip. That story, that case study actually stems from a client that I worked with. I can't remember exactly the year that it was, but I was scheduled to meet with a client and his wife. And this was around April. And they had to postpone, and then they had to postpone for a very long time because he happened to be very high up in the CDC. And it was at the time that Ebola broke out. And Ebola's kind of flares up here and there all the time, but this is when it started to become widespread, and the chance of it becoming a pandemic issue was high. And so this gentleman very high up in the CDC. He was working 7 days a week, 18 hours a day, sleeping under his desk. So a year later, when he actually did get to retire, and we never got a chance to have that meeting, he like walked out, bought the RV, hired an architect to remodel the kitchen, and started talking to travel agents about that trip to Europe. And this is based on a real story. And his financial advisor was like, Melissa, you gotta help. And so we talked to him, and it was funny because in our work together, they're such a lovely couple. In our work together, they were actually in RV parks, and as in our meetings, we would talk from different RV campgrounds across the United States. But they realized like how off the rails they had got, and realized really why. It was because he had no life. He was trying to make up time. And so we rolled out this spending plan for him. They were having so much fun in that RV that they dedicated that particular year, that next 12 months, to the RV. And then after that, they decided that they were pricing out the European vacation. They were pricing out the kitchen. You know what? They wanted to do that European trip first. They could always, there's going to be time to cook at home. And so it really, when we say that we understand that pent-up feeling, I really mean it. It just, it's the parallels though to what's going on right now with being dormant and there being a freaking pandemic going on. It's just too good to I can't pass up telling that story, because I think that it really resonates that much more with people right now.
Yeah, so it really is, take the time, craft whatever type of a spending book suits your mentality, write down what you want to spend it on, set up a reasonable schedule for doing that, and then go and enjoy yourself. Yeah. I mean, this is all about enjoying yourself. We're not saying not to do that. I want to make sure that's really clear. We spend a lot of time talking to people and really trying to reassure them we're here to make your life enjoyable and to make your life better, not in spite of you, but with you. So yeah, go enjoy that.
Absolutely. And if one of the things we talk about all the time is a spending plan is really simply a plan to live the life that you want to live. And a lot of people, there's an uncomfortability in them spending, like they almost have to give themselves permission to spend, or when they spend, even though they know that the money is there, they're uncomfortable. And it's simply because there isn't a plan. And so, whether that's something that you do yourself or you hire, a group like us, if that may be the next first step before you decide, look, I want to go ahead and create my spending book, or actually truly they're in parallel with each other, right? And so just something to think about. And again, as I mentioned in the notes below, we'll go ahead and link that article, really explaining really explaining how to create your own spending book, right? So a spending book, spending plan, a document for how you want to spend your money over the course of the next 12 months on all the things, right? I can see where it could get a little bit confusing on all the things. I like that. I'm going to have to use that.
All right.
Anything else we want to talk about on this, Kevin?
I think that's pretty good.
Awesome. Well, I will tell you, we are, ecstatic. This is like our 51st or 52nd video. So if you have not had a chance to check out all of our, just really thoroughly vet our channel, please feel free, like and subscribe to this video, check our other ones out. You can find more information about us on our website, thesavvylife.com, including, if working on a spending plan is something that you are interested in, you can find out more information there. And that's thesavvylife.com. And then on the social medias?
Social medias.
Yep. All right. Anything else, Kevin?
I think we're good.
All right. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye-bye.